Welcome back to my channel. Hi, I'm Chrissy, and today we have a character redesign video. Now this is the first character redesign video where I did 3 characters. It just felt more right with this one. I felt like all of the characters I did were, I don't want to say extra characters, but they weren't like more implemented into my brain. It's just some designs that I liked, so I didn't really need to go into like any lore or story for these characters, except maybe one, but we'll get into that. So I felt 3 was a good number for this video. If you are interested in seeing my other character redesigns, make sure to go find the playlist in the description. Without further ado, let's jump right into the first character design. Okay, starting with character 1. Now, I did rename or name all these characters, and this one is Citrus, and you can see a clear theme going on. Okay, I have lemons and limes in the background, and his colors are, you know, yellow, green, very lemony, lime, duh. His original design didn't have that citrus theme. I just felt the colors matched that really, really well. It was also giving like Mountain Dew, like bright neon green, which I really loved because I'm a big fan of saturated colors, but as I was designing or redesigning him, I liked the more muted colors. So let me know how you like that. They're not muted, but they're very like less bright and saturated than the ones in the original design. Now, the first thing I started with that I really wanted to keep was his fluff on the side of his cheeks going down. I don't have a character like that. I thought that was a really interesting design. I thought it was super cute. So I wanted to make sure he was super fluffy, and I don't really know what to classify him as animal-wise. I know that I didn't want to keep the tail or the ears the same, so the ears I decided to try and give more of a lemon shape with the rounded out ear and then like the little bloop at the end, the little bump at the end, and I tried to mimic his tail like a lemon as well, so you can kind of see that dynamic between the ears and tail shape chemistry we got going on. And I felt like his feet, if I made them like a rounded out shape, would also be really fun, so I did that. I just thought the tail shape being more shaped like a lemon would fit the overall theme, but I wasn't in love with the long tail, and I actually wanted to take that idea and add it to another character, so we'll bring that idea back in a little bit. The colors, I wanted to make the original green on the character a darker green because I didn't want to have all of the colors being the same light color because it was making me annoyed. I did first set out and add the original characters onto the, I did set out first to add the original colors on the character just to like see what I was working with, and like if I put it on the character, see what wasn't working and why I didn't like it. And a lot of the reasons were the colors tone value were just way too similar for my liking. I felt like the base color looked good on the original character, but when I put it on my line work with the colors, it just didn't look good. It just looked like really fleshy, so I tried to make it like a little more similar to the yellow, or at least tried to match the colors better with it. And I added a orange color in there as a balance between some of those darker and then lighter colors. It's like my mid-tone range is that orange color, and that set it for me real well. And of course, I always have to have a pattern with my characters, and I chose the lemon lime pattern. And I wanted to make that pattern only on the yellow color, but you can see I have added it individually on his cheek and on his feet. And looking at some of the colors, you can see some overlay of some orange and blue, where I did like little lemon shaped, almost like drops, you can see there. And I think that's somewhat of all I have to say. I did make his eyebrows that lemon shape, and I did draw his pupils before I knew I wanted to make him lemon themed, and I left him those swirls, so that might stay, that might go in the future, I'm not sure. But the overall energy of this character, I actually really didn't like it. When I finished it, I think it's just a little different from what I experience on the day-to-day basis. He does have horns, if y'all didn't notice that. He does in fact have that. But if you can help me figure out what the heck kind of animal he looks like, I have animal species blindness when it comes to my characters. So let me know, and let me know what you think of the design. I think the pattern for the lemons being on the yellow on certain spots, I really like. Anyway, that's that for Citrus. Moving on to the second character. Now this is the one I am most deep into attachment wise, and I will tell you why. The first character, actually I did Citrus, his redesign came with this image as well, and the redesign, let me say this right because it can sound confusing. The original design of Citrus, this design that we're doing here, is the original design to that design. Does that make sense? So this image of this little like bunny looking paint hat was the original of Citrus. So I wanted to take this away from it and create its own character because I felt like they had similar stuff to it, but different enough where I was going to come up with something completely different and unique and new. So meet Hazel. She is a painter, and you will see that she has no arms, and I was very afraid to make that decision because I didn't want to offend anybody. I know that sounds crazy, but I like having unique characters, and I like having representation, and I know that there are people who are born like that, and I wanted that representation, and I felt like it was a good time to do it because of the idea I wanted for her. And remembering the tail that I scrapped for Citrus's design, I added to this one, so her tail is a paintbrush. It's her paintbrush, and I thought that would just be a more unique thing for her. So she does her creativity with her tail. She doesn't need arms to be a painter. And that was the whole idea I wanted from her. Her character, just herself, is very simple. I wanted to make her base design as simple as it got. I wanted like minimum 4 colors. I wanted it very plain too. And I stuck it to just like browns and I think a yellow. So she's very cute though. I love her. And she's actually the only character I actually do give an outfit, just because her patterns were so simple, and her patterns are an overlay on top of her. Her pattern overlay is that splash of color and that paint, and it's going to have the most colors to choose from. So I wanted to make sure her base would be really simple, nothing too complicated, and I think I managed that overall. And you will say, oh my gosh, Chrissy, you have a pattern for your character. All your characters have a certain unique thing on their body. Hazel is different because she has that added paint. I mean, I did a version of her without it, but the idea that you will ever see her without paint is probably very low. And you may recognize the colors, the rainbow colors. They are an exact match to my character Ikusa, who is a character who shows up on many of my videos, and I decided to make Hazel her little art student. So if you recognize that, you are a truer, and I love you. But I think that's the basic of Hazel. She's just a basic character, and she's a painter. And I think it's lovely. I can't believe I never came up with the idea of having a tail be like a paintbrush. I think that's wild, and I'm glad I got this design. I'm really glad I decided to take this design and make it its own thing, and I'm actually really excited to write her story because I think it's very untapped potential she has. So, and if you're curious, the little mark on her shirt is a little paintbrush. I didn't draw it very well. I will probably end up drawing it as its own image and then adding it to the shirt if I ever do like a finalized like animation for her and anything. And her eyes are permanently closed. My brain's like, I'm thinking about making her blind. That's such a weird thing to say. But she's my only character with eyes closed. I think what I want to do is she just doesn't use her eyes to paint, or maybe she's blind, but she like senses what she wants to draw and like envisions it. So that's how she creates, and that's a fun thing. Moving on to character 3. Now, this one is probably the one that I'm least attached to. She is the most background of the characters, but I've only had her for like a couple hours, so because I designed this one in the same day I'm doing a voiceover for it, so it kind of takes a day for me to get attached to a character. And I think that's really funny because she has like more, I guess, to her than like, I guess you could say Hazel does. So honestly, characters being my favorite sometimes just has nothing to do with the design and more about how their personality is. So I think that's funny. Anyway, this is Azer. Azer, is that how you say it? I am actually not sure, and I'm too lazy to look it up. Her name actually means sky blue. I looked it up before I finalized the design on her. So she's, I think, my only character who's a monochrome design, meaning she's only like one color. So I thought that was really interesting, and going in, I wasn't planning on doing that, but I'm glad I did because once again, I don't have any characters like that. So her original design, I wasn't sure what the heck she was. I think me and Katie were like, I was saying she reminded me of a snow leopard. Katie said, I think she might have said leopard too, or panther or something like that. I don't know. But I really wasn't sure what she was in the original design. I liked the rounded off ears, and as I was drawing her sketch, she kind of just looked like a panda bear or just a bear. Take what you will from that. So I guess she's a bear now. And that's just kind of how it happened. I also just didn't really like the long tail. Like, I gave it a shot, but I was not in love with it. Katie was actually complaining about this design. She was like, I really like the finalized design, but it looks nothing like the original. I was like, well, some things like the original. But I don't know, she disagrees with me. I did scrap some things off the original design, clearly, like the like black dots on her upper legs. Actually, to me, look like specific paint splatters, or like almost like a bullet hole. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know, I kind of want to do that like idea on a different character. I scrapped it off her because I feel like it just didn't match, and I saw all these cute hearts and was like, oh my god, hearts. So I kept that, and the line hearts are on it, and then I filled it in with that light blue. I wasn't planning on doing it. I planned on doing just a line work of a heart, but I did fill in with blue. Spoilers, okay, I did. And working on her, I saw on her she had the downward fluff, kind of like Citrus, but I tried to make hers as different as I could, so it's a little more swoopy, and her fluffs are going in a different direction at the top and then going down and curving up. And if you were to look at both of them side by side, there's a clear difference between how her little side floofs look and his. And she didn't have hair originally, so I gave her some swoopy hair because I felt like it matched the side puffs on her. And I kept her eyelashes the same because I don't have a character that has 2 spiked eyelashes at the end quite like that. And I did add the heart fluff in the center because her theme was hearts. I was gonna do that, so I couldn't help myself. I gave her a similar body type. I even tried to do like a similar pose too. And I also tried to do like the furry leg thing, you know what I mean? I don't think I did that quite right. I'm not very good at it. I have a friend who's really good at it. Katara, if you're watching, I love you. Should have just asked her to help me with it. But I think I did a good enough job for a rev sheet that you know what it's supposed to be. But I think that's something I need to work on when I draw her in the future. And her colors are extremely simple. And you know what? I think sometimes that makes the world go round, okay? I think some of the best characters can have a simple color scheme. And I love that I kept her arms, her forearms and hands, except the palm, of course. That dark blue, I feel like it gives you a break, something to look at, and I feel like that's very important with the design. If you're going to have a lot of different features and details on them, you need to have one place that has some breathing room. So she was really fun to work with. Not too detailed, just hearts everywhere, and you can see where I inverted the colors of the hearts and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say about her. Her original design was really cute, but I think I like this one a little bit more. Those are all the characters I have for today that I'm going to be redesigning. Let me know which one's your favorite and if there's something you think I could improve on or change, or if you liked the original designs better. That doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I think there's always something to glean from the original designs. It's how I think about it. Anyway, that is it for this video, and I hope you enjoyed. God bless you and have a great rest of your day.